phase 2 of AICT sponsored short-term training program on electrical vehicle technology organized by Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology. On behalf of our management, principal, HOD and faculty members of our Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, I welcome you all for this session. For this session, we are having the eminent speaker, Mr. Amos, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology. He is an ardent lover of technology and student welfare. He believes lateral thinking is very much essential for the students to outsmart others and shine in the fast moving world. He is an eloquent speaker and given a lot of motivational talk to the students and has boosted their confidence. He is currently heading the PIT Toastmasters Club as a club master. He did his undergraduation in mechanical engineering and post graduation in CAD, and currently he is pursuing his PhD. He started his career as a software engineer at Infosys Mysore. He has worked under the .NET platform and later quit to pursue MTech in CAD and then joined at the Apollo Engineering College and worked as a lecturer there. He then worked at Welltech Dr. RR and Dr. SR Technical University. Currently, he is working as assistant professor in Panimalar Institute of Technology. He has around 10 years of experience in teaching and 1 year of experience in industry. He had led a team of 25 students in the Sai Baja competition, which is a nationwide contest for all-terrain vehicle building by electrical propulsion, which happened in Pitambur, Madhya Pradesh. The vehicles will be tested under the various conditions and then best one will be selected for final and then allowed to participate in the endurance race. For 3 consecutive years, the team has reached the finals and participated in the endurance race. In 2018 Falcon Races, in 2019 Falcon Races 2 and 2020 Adusa Sports. His achievements were he is a best teacher awardee at Welltech University and he is a NPTEL Star Awardee in 2019. With this few words of introduction, I request Professor Amos to take over the session. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to thank Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Panimalar Institute of Technology, Deepa Madam, and Dr. Ramapuram Madam for giving me this opportunity. So this 1 hour is going to be something informative, I guess, and I hope at the end of the session you will be having an idea about what is off-road electric vehicle and how it is being designed and how it is being operated. So let's move on. Is my screen visible and am I audible, everyone?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible and you are audible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So let me put forth these questions. Why an electric vehicle at this point of time? Why do we need to go for an electric vehicle at this point of time? Participants, you can unmute and you can give me your answers for this. Why do we need to go for an electric vehicle at this point of time? All right, the first problem that India is facing right now is fuel shortage. There's not much of maximum majority of the crude oil is being imported from Middle East. So that is one important issue that we are facing. And then what will be the next? Anyone can come in? Pollution, yes. The pollution that the fossil fuel, that's the petrol and diesel is generating is humongous, which is not able to be controlled at all. So pollution is an important factor. What else?
Inflation.
Inflation. Is it, sir? Sir, did I get your word correctly? Is it inflation?
Yes.
Yes.
There is rise in fuel price, right?
Fuel prices, yes. It is being sold yesterday when I went to fill my bike. Petrol was sold at 92 rupees 34 paisa. So look at how much the fuel prices have risen, right? So that the inflation of the prices is also a major factor in that. And to be very frank, all over the world, it's being sold at the same price, it seems. It's $1.2 or $1.3. That is the rate at which the fuel prices are being sold. So it's not like only in a country it is being sold at 92 rupees. All over the world, it is in the same range. Every country is trying to get the maximum out of the transportation or whatever through petrol and other fuels. They are trying to get the maximum profit out of it. So just wanted to give you that point. Yeah, so there are a lot of factors that are involved. As we said, the first point is the need for fuel. Second point is pollution. So let's go ahead. The need of the hour right now. Okay, if the import of fuel, that is crude oil, is being reduced, what will happen is India can save up to 300 billion. That comes to 20 lakh crore rupees in oil imports, and nearly 1 gigaton of carbon dioxide emissions can be reduced by 2030. This is as per the recent report by FICCI, who's governing body regarding pollution. All right, so just imagine 300 billion. That's so much. 20 lakh crore. It's equal to 1 year's budget. So just imagine how much of money India can save by 2030. And the next important thing is India has skipped Bharat stage from Bharat stage 4 to Bharat stage. It has skipped Bharat stage 5, the pollution control norms. So it has skipped Bharat stage 5 and it has gone to 6 directly. So which means the pollution rate which are coming out through the vehicles, the internal combustion vehicles, it has to be reduced drastically. There must be 0% emissions from these vehicles. So imagine how much of efforts have to be put to make the vehicle reduce. There are a lot of catalytic converters and other things which reduces the NOx, SOx, and COX, carbon monoxide, and all those things, harmful gases. But still, the 0% emission is not possible until we get into an electric vehicle. So here we have to discuss about this. Next, the overall electric vehicle market for storage in India is likely to be 4.7 gigawatt in 2022. We are just 1 year behind that year. So electric vehicle market for storage in India. So there is a boom in electric vehicle market currently. There are a lot of Indian private sector units. They have slowly started coming into electric vehicle market, either in buying those parts and assembling it and selling it as a vehicle, or there might be just the suppliers and distributors of parts. So that is two major industry is opening up in India currently. Already there are a lot of companies which have come in. I'll be telling you in the later slides. So next, the important thing is to counter air pollution coupled with rising fuel price in India provides for booming business. So the air pollution has to be controlled. Imagine during Diwali time in Delhi and all, the pollution rate goes up so high that the government of Delhi, what they do is they let out a government order, GO, saying that crackers shouldn't be burnt during Diwali. This happens in a lot of other places as well, not because the crackers are making a lot of sound or anything like that. It's about the pollution that it creates, and which mixes with the already available air pollution in Delhi. So air pollution is becoming a very big issue in India currently. Then there are a lot of policies that the government has introduced. The first one is FAME 1, and later on, after 3 years, they have introduced FAME 2 as well. Through this, the adaptation of electric vehicles have gone to a new level. If you and if you are going to buy an electric vehicle, through these schemes, through these policies, government is ready to give you an electric vehicle, to make you buy an electric vehicle at a very subsidized rate. The government is ready to fund you a portion, let's say 10% or 20% of the vehicle cost. Government is ready to fund you if you are going to choose an electric vehicle as for commuting purpose. So this is an important thing that we should be knowing. Then this paves way though. So the electric vehicle market is opening up in this way. there are a lot of openings for these private sector units for them to invest in this sector. So next few years, you will be, we'll all can witness this particular exponential growth in production of electric vehicle. You know, Tesla has come into India through Bangalore. Okay, they have settled down in Bangalore. They have opened a plant in Bangalore, and Tesla, they have started letting out their vehicles in Bangalore. All right, so like that, foreign companies are also ready to invest in electric vehicles in the current scenario. So let's look at what this FAME is. All right, FAME is faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles. This is what FAME stands for. This was introduced in 2017 for the period of 3 years. All right, and people were not aware of this, and there were not much of fame on this FAME. Actually, not much of importance was given by people and other manufacturing units or companies. So they introduced FAME 2 as well. So what happens in this scheme is it offers incentives to the electric and hybrid vehicles ranging from, so it gives, the government is ready to give you an incentive if you are going to buy a scooter or motorcycle which is going to run through electric vehicle technology. So this is something that we should be knowing. And FAME is a part of National Electric Mobility Mission plan by Government of India. So they are trying their best effort to make people understand that, come on, let's move on to electric vehicle. The usage of combustion vehicles is getting over, and there's a lot of pollution. So let's move on. And the government is pushing everyone. But the important factors that is stopping the people from buying is the cost of these vehicles. The cost of the vehicles are so high. For that cost, we can as a normal person, we can buy 2 combustion vehicles. That is the basic thing that is obstructing the people from buying this electric vehicles. So that's an important factor. Then FAME 2, what happened is they introduced in 2019 FAME 2, a subsidy period for this is 3 years, from 2019 to 2022. So how much they have sanctioned is 8,596 crores. Imagine how much of money the government has sanctioned. And based on this, what happens is all the vehicles which are running through lithium-ion batteries and more advanced power source. So not something less than lithium-ion batteries, something which the vehicle should run in lithium-ion batteries, as well as something more advanced power source like fuel cell technology and all those things. If those batteries are being used, then the vehicle can come under this particular sanction, and people who are buying it will get this sanctioned amount along with the purchase. So imagine, so just think it supports 10 lakh e-scooters, that is 2-wheelers, 5 lakh e-3-wheelers, 55,000 e-4-wheelers, and 7,000 e-buses. So whichever government is ready to take up this scheme, and whichever company is ready to take it up, they will be greatly benefited by this support from the government. And one more thing, when electric vehicles are running on the roads, the next important thing is it has to be charged. So even for charging stations, infrastructures have been planned by the government, because for every a few meters we can find a few kilometers, maybe we could find a gas station, that is a petrol pump station. But for these electric vehicle charging, even though they have very good efficiency and it has very good long run and all those things, if at all, if the battery goes out, they need a charging station somewhere on the roadside. It's not necessary that they have to charge their batteries or car only at home or in the office or only in the end-to-end region. So in between, if there's anything happening, they need to have charging stations. So government has given this infrastructure plans as well, electric vehicle charging infrastructure plans in tier 1 cities, where around 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer radius, at least one charging station should be there. So there are a lot of companies which are trying to develop, are trying to enter into infrastructure, EV charging infrastructure alone. So there are 3 sectors from this basically. First one is electric vehicle production. Second one is electric vehicle parts selling, and then third one is electric vehicle charging infrastructure plants. So all these things are being taken into account. So there is 3 markets that are opening up because of electric vehicle technology. So this is something for your knowledge. Next, now if I have to convert a petrol car into an electric vehicle, these are the things which have to be removed from a petrol car. The first one is the engine. We have no point in having an engine. Then the starter motor, because the engine needs a motor to start. So starter motor is not needed. Gear shifter, we are not going to have any gear shifter. Clutch and flywheel, alternator, fuel tanks, air filter, exhaust system, pipes. So all these things that you see on the screen, all these things are going to be taken off, and it's going to be replaced by installing these EV parts. So adapter plate and coupling for HP version between motor and transmission. You see all these batteries are the lithium-ion batteries that are being used, and all the motor that is being used in the electric vehicle, they all generate too much of heat. So they have to be liquid cooled basically. So the liquid cooled AC induction motor and controller or inverter have to be replaced. And then batteries and BMS. The BMS is the management system which actually controls all the batteries. If there are 2-pack, 3-pack or 4-pack batteries, all these batteries will be coupled to this BMS. From the BMS only the output will be taken out. Charging, cell balancing, temperature control and alarm, overcharge and over discharge, all these things have to be taken has to be taken control by battery management system. Then all the things that you see on the screen, the fluid, heater, vacuum pump, circulation pump. So imagine just think there are 10 parts here on the petrol car have to be replaced by so many parts. There's some more coming up. Battery monitoring, battery charger, DC-DC converter, potentiometer, relays, and so many things have to be replaced. So the cost of these parts are currently so high in Indian market. There are a lot of companies which have started coming up to which are ready to produce these parts, but the cost at which it is being sold is currently too much. That is the only issue currently India is facing. The companies in India, what they are doing is they are trying to import it from foreign countries, and then they are keeping their profit margin and selling it at a higher price. If the companies themselves, if they are able to produce these parts, manufacture these parts, then the e-vehicles cost can very much be reduced. So this is something that we have to be aware of. Then the charging infrastructure development companies that are already there right now, since there are not much of companies which are ready to sell electric vehicles currently, so the Indian companies, they have started getting into these charging infrastructure development. So some companies like Ather also has Ather, by the name Ather, they have two-wheelers, basically electric scooters, and Ather Grid deals with charging infrastructure. Exicom, Delta Electronics, ABB, Fortran, as you can see, there are a lot of companies which are into charging infrastructure. They feel charging infrastructure is currently okay in this field. So let us move into this field first and then move on to electric vehicle manufacturing or assembling or whatever. Right? Now look at it. On-road electric vehicle. What are all the parts of an on-road electric vehicle? We have the electric traction motor, basically. Through that, that is the basic part of an electric vehicle, traction motor. Then power electronics controller. Through this controller, the control goes to these tires, basically. So I mean to the wheels, right? Then DC-DC converter. Then thermal system for cooling. Cooling is very much, if there is less cooling, or if there is no cooling at all, then there is a chance that the battery will start fuming up, or there are chances that the battery will blast. So just imagine, thermal system cooling is very much needed for these batteries and BMS and everything. And then auxiliary batteries for the lights and other components, like inside the car. Inside the car, if you need a lighting effect, or for the headlights and for the indicators, for all those things, the auxiliary battery, which is basically a 12-volt battery or a bigger 48-volt, those kind of batteries are being used. And then onboard charger for charging these auxiliary battery. Then transmission from motor to those different wheels, and then charging port through which the charging has to be done for the vehicle. And then traction battery pack. Battery pack is usually placed at the bottom, just below the passenger, where the passenger sits. This is what an on-road electric vehicle looks like. And the charging port, it can have a single port or 2-port, 3-port, like that. So based on the different ports, phases, basically for single phase, 2-phase and 3-phase, the charging happens in a quicker way. For a 3-phase, it happens at a shorter time. For a single phase, it happens at a lower time. So based on that, the charging port is available. Now, this is a very important thing that everyone should know regarding electric vehicle. If we say electric vehicle, we might think that it runs only in electricity or battery. No, there are 3-4 types of electric vehicles that are available. The first one is battery electric vehicle, as you can see, BEV. Next comes EREV, which is extended range electric vehicle. Next comes plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, PHEV. And then the last one, hybrid electric vehicle. We are going to look at each one so that you'll get an idea of what is what. The first one is battery powered electric vehicle. Now, in this section, I just wanted to put a question. If I say electric vehicle, does that mean that there is no pollution? Can anyone, if you're available, can anyone answer that question? If I say electric vehicle, does that mean there is no pollution at all?
No, there is pollution.
There is pollution, yes, sir. Thank you. Because the electricity that is being generated, in India, currently the maximum electricity that is being generated is through which medium?
Coal power plant.
Yes, coal powered, yes, sir. So it is basically steam power plant or coal power plant. So where the coal is being burnt, lignite, for example, in Neyveli in Tamil Nadu, NLC we call it, Neyveli Lignite Corporation, lignite is being burnt, and then that burning heat, the fire from that lignite is being fed into a boiler. Basically, the boiler boils the water and the water turns into steam. The pressurized high pressure steam is being made to hit the turbine rotates, and the turbine is coupled with the generator. So eventually the generator, the setup inside the generator, it rotates and the current is generated. So max 60% or 70% of the electricity that's being generated in India is purely through steam power plant. Remaining is only through wind and all renewable energy, wind and solar. There are a lot of solar energy plants that have been placed all over India. When I was looking at the statistics, India is number 4 or 5th in the world with solar power generation. The top one is Russia currently, and then China, USA, and the 4th one is India in solar power generation. So just imagine, we are on par with renewable energy, but still, since our country is huge and the population is huge, 1.36 billion, that is 138 crores, that is the population currently. The energy that is being generated, the electricity that is being generated is majorly through steam power plant. So that is an important thing that we should be knowing. So if I just put my charging, that is the charge port inside my vehicle, and if I charge it, I'm getting the electricity, and the electricity is charging, the electric current is charging the vehicle. But how this electricity is being generated is, it is from a steam power plant. So where they would have burnt the coal, and the combustion, the coal's smoke, all those things, the combustion would have gone out into the atmosphere. So when I say battery powered electric vehicle, it doesn't mean that it is having 0% emission. The vehicle might be giving you a 0% emission, all right, since it's running by electricity. But the electricity, how it is being generated, if you see, it emits, you can see the second line, EV emits 50 to 51% less carbon dioxide than ICE. ICE is internal combustion engine vehicle. So this is the scenario currently. So all its power is from the batteries and electric motors. This is the current scenario. Then comes extended range electric vehicle. When I say extended range, it's basically to a particular range it will run through electric. and after that it will have a small internal combustion inside it. All right, a small internal combustion engine that drives the electric generator. So it has to have fuel. It runs under fuel, as well as it is not hybrid. It's not half off. It is not half off. Let me put it let me put that for you. It is not hybrid. It is majorly it is electric. But let's say if my vehicle stops when I'm going for a desert or something, beyond that, if there is no any charging station, what this person will do, the driver will do, he can shift the transmission from electric to the small IC engine that it is inbuilt inside the vehicle. So through this, the the vehicle will be able to run beyond that particular point. So this is why it is called as extended range. So when it is needed, it can be extended. The vehicle's run can be extended through this internal combustion, small internal combustion. It's already available, this particular vehicle by BMW i3 extended range. This example is being run by this particular technology, ERV technology. Next comes plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. In this plug-in hybrid electric, what happens is there is a gas engine as well as an electric motor. You might have seen those autos which are running by gas, as well as it can run by fuel as well. So like that, we have this plug-in hybrid electric vehicle which can run by electric motor as well as gas engine. So it can shift when if it wants to run by electric motor, it can run an electric motor, or it can run through this gas engine. So it can be for electric motor, to charge electric motor, what you have to do is just plug in the electric source and the battery can be charged. So there is this Kia brand, Kia Niro plug-in hybrid. This vehicle runs on this particular technology. We call it PHEV. Then comes hybrid electric vehicle, which is HEV. So this is purely hybrid. In this, there is half ICE engine, half electric propulsion. So Toyota Prius hybrid. So it is half basically. When I said about extended range, it is almost 80-20 only in that percentage. But in hybrid electric vehicle, it is purely half. So for the first 100 kilometers, the vehicle can run in electric, and then for the next 60 or 70 or 50 kilometers, for the next 50, it can run via an internal combustion engine. So this is what. So all these four things, if you see, definitely the electricity is being used, and electricity definitely to have come from the power plant, and through this power plant means it has definitely combusted some amount of smoke into the atmosphere. So it is not all these four. It doesn't have zero emission, but there is fuel cell electric vehicle, which is an acronym. It's FCEV. FCEV. This particular electric vehicle runs purely with fuel cell technology. Right? I know everybody knows about fuel cell technology. It's something that was introduced in 1868. So just think how old this technology is, but it's not as good as battery operated. But still, there is this point called zero emission, right? Since fuel cell technology uses hydrogen, and the output of this particular fuel cell, hydrogen fuel cell, is water, right? So there is zero emission in these particular vehicles. So this is the only category in these electric vehicles which can produce 0% emission, because this electricity doesn't come from any power plant. The electricity is generated by the fuel cell itself, and there is 0% emission in this. Only water is going to come out. It is not going to pollute the air at all. So this is something that you should be knowing. Zero emission vehicles. So only zero emission, ZEVs we call it. Only zero emission vehicles is fuel cell electric vehicle that can emit only water. So just think water and heat is the output of this particular ZEV, we call it. Next, let's move on to why do we need to go for an off-road vehicle currently. If you see on the roads nowadays, majority of them would the vehicles that are running, commercial vehicles, either it's an SUV or it's what do you call it, something more than an SUV, like XUV and all those high-end models. Those are the vehicles that people prefer. correct? How many of us can see a normal sedan class or hatchback version of cars running on the road? Majority of the vehicles that are currently, people go for let's say a 6-seater or 7-seater vehicles, those who can afford it. That is the current scenario that is available. If you just have if you're going out and if you have a survey of what is happening on the road, the vehicles that are moving maximum, if you see, there's a lot of SUVs are being bought. So if I say SUV, it is an off-road vehicle. It's not an on-road. It can go on road as well as it can go on any kind of terrain. And if you see the statistics in our world currently, there are only 21.6 million kilometers of roads, and the remaining everything is totally rugged. It is of a different terrain. It is not a smooth terrain at all. It is all totally, there is no roads at all. If you can see those deserts or some kind of gravel kind of road, or just mud or just sand or something which is mushy, all those kind of things. So these kind of off-road vehicles are very much preferred in foreign countries, and it's slowly coming up in India as well, right? So the commercial vehicle break down in other terrains, correct? The suspension of these vehicles, they break down. For let's say a normal a Hyundai car, if I take it, a passenger car, right? If it is being run on a different terrain other than a road, definitely because of the suspension, what will happen? The suspension will break, and definitely it has to be repaired at that point of time, right? So there is a mentality of the current people that off-road vehicles are better than something which is running on road currently, because I can run the vehicle on road as well as off the road. So for Mars rover exploration, currently when the rover's Mars exploration was done, they developed this off-road vehicle because the terrain of Mars was not smooth. So they had to do these kind of experiments with off-road vehicles. So something that I just wanted to tell you. And off-road vehicle, what is an off-road? You can see on the screen. Off-road is considered to be any type of vehicle which is capable of driving on and off paved or gravel surface. So look at the terrain. It is not a normal road, but still the vehicle is able to run on it. This is what an off-road vehicle is basically. Now, there are a lot of vehicles available in the market currently, off-road electric vehicle in market. The first one, the top one right now, is Nikola NZT. It has been there since 2019. So you can see those statistics. The range in one single charge, it can run for 150 miles. So imagine in just single charge, it can run for 150 miles. And from 0 to 60, it can go in 3.5 seconds. So imagine the torque that it can generate, 720 pounds. Feet-pounds of torque it can generate. So 0 to 60 it can go in 3.5 seconds. So there are a lot of other vehicles as well. Bollinger, Chevy Colorado, Chrysler Hummer, Rivian. Rivian is the latest model. All these things are off-road electric vehicle, purely off-road vehicle. The first one is Nikola, then comes Bollinger. Chevy Colorado is being used for military usage only right now because it is purely bulletproof. The tank, all those battery pack, everything is totally covered by bulletproof material, and so it is being used in military currently. Then this Chrysler Hummer, you might have heard about Hummer vehicles. Hummer is one of the vehicles which is having the widest base. So this is Chrysler Hummer. Recently, Hummer itself, Hummer is the model name, first introduced by General Motors, GM. And this particular Chrysler Hummer can go up to a speed of 113 miles per hour, and its range is 186 miles in single charge. So in single charge, it can go up to 186 miles. So I'll just show you a video of how these vehicles are. Yeah, I hope you can see the screen. Can you all see the screen? Hello? Sir,
Yes,
can you see the screen? Yes, sir.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah.
Electric vehicles are getting more and more popular from day to day. Not only are they cost effective, but they also provide high utility to the environment. In this video, we have prepared the top 5 off-road electric vehicles that will amaze you with their outstanding design and performance. Nikola NZT. Nikola Motors Sports Division, Nikola Power Sports, has officially unveiled their mighty electric off-roader in 2017, called the Nikola NZT. The challenges of riding in the deserts or during snow, or even in the rocky areas, are no longer obstacles with this electric beast. It comes with a 12-inch touchscreen display that will provide all the vehicle dynamics and statistics you need. The vehicle will be available in 4 models, and the top version that's equipped with a 440 kilowatt electric motor will be able to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds. The all-wheel instant torque vectoring brings remarkable performance by delivering up to 722 pound-feet of torque. Thanks to the 125 kilowatt hours battery pack, you can travel up to 150 miles on a single charge. The NZTs will be available to buy in 2019 at a starting price of $28,900. Bollinger B1. The US-based Bollinger Motors Company has introduced the world's first fully electric all-wheel drive sports utility truck. The vehicle comes with high-strength steel rollover structure and has simple minimalistic design for the interior. The B1's dual-motor drivetrain generates 270 kilowatt power output with 472 pound-feet of torque that enables it to hit 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds and reach a top speed of 127 miles per hour. With a 100 kilowatt hours lithium-ion battery pack, you can drive 200 miles on a single charge. The vehicle will be delivered in 2019, and you can reserve one now. Chevrolet Colorado ZH2. General Motors developed an off-road hydrogen-powered electric pickup truck for the US Armed Forces in 2016, called the Colorado ZH2. The ZH2's silent drive system and the bulletproof tanks will be ideal for the military use. With 37-inch off-road tires and a specially modified suspension, the vehicle can climb over and descend all manner of terrain. The electric motor delivers 130 kilowatt power output, and depending on the type of terrain, it can go 200 miles on a single charge. The vehicle is also equipped with a separate electric generator housed in the trunk for additional power. The US Army had 1 year to evaluate the capabilities of the ZH2 fuel cell electric vehicle, and the final demonstration will be held late in January 2018. Chrysler Hummer H1. Arnold Schwarzenegger presented the world's first electric Hummer H1 from the Austrian-based Chrysler Electric Company. This all-wheel drive, fully electric vehicle is equipped with the company's high-quality 100 kilowatt-hours lithium-ion battery pack that helps achieve 186 miles of range on a single charge. 2 electric motors in the front and rear deliver a combined 360 kilowatt power output. This is not the only huge success of Chrysler, as it has also electrified an off-road vehicle on the design basis of Mercedes G-Wagon a year ago. The 360 kilowatt electric motor enables the vehicle to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds and reach a top speed of 113 miles per hour. With the total 80 kilowatt hours, 2 battery packs, it can also travel up to 186 miles per charge. Unfortunately, Chrysler has no plans to sell an all-electric G-Class to customers. Which one of these did you like the most? Tell us in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and don't...
Yeah. So these are all the different electric vehicle, off-road electric vehicle markets that are available. And next, I would like to share the experience that that we underwent when we built our off-road electric vehicle. So these are the different models that we built in 2019 and 2020. Is the screen visible, sir? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. So these are the two basic models that we built in 2009, 18, 19, and 20. So I've just put the 19 and 20 model. So first, what we did was we built the chassis. If you can see, the chassis has to be very strong for an off-road vehicle. It has to, since it's undergoing a lot of suspension, it's going to be on a all-terrain. I mean, it's going to run on different terrains. The suspension is a very, very important factor that has to be considered. So for that, the suspension's load, everything is going to be concentrated on the chassis of the chassis, which we call as the body of the vehicle. So the body has to be designed with certain norms, which are being totally given by the SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, where they give you a rule book. And for this Baja competition, there is two types of competition. One is which is manual Baja, M Baja we call it, which runs with the help of engine. And the second one is E Baja. In E Baja only we've been competing for the past 3 years continuously. Just before Corona, we went to Pitambur, Madhya Pradesh, and we participated. And we went to the finals. That is the best part. So the cross section of these the rods and everything, all the calculations have been put up. So this is how we test. Basically, we first do it with the help of pipes. Just the white one that you see on the right side, these are just PVC pipes. So with the help of these pipes, we try to get the maximum dimensions, and then after finalizing it with the prototype, then we go start build the model, which will be with the help of metal pipes. So the motor and battery specifications that we had was the maximum power that the motor could generate was 4.5 kilowatt, and it can run at 4,500 maximum RPM. The maximum torque it could generate was 38 Newton meter, and it was 150 RPM. And the motor that we used was BLDC, brushless DC motor. Then speed, it was able to go up to 45 kilometer per hour, and the range in one charge it was 100 to 120. The nominal voltage that we were able to get from the battery pack that we bought was it was from the company called Compage, which is an Indian company. What they do is they import it from China and they sell it in India. So we were asked to buy from this company only. And the battery pack alone, it costed us 70,000 to 80,000 with the BMS, and then the motor was it costed around the battery itself was 1.5 lakhs actually. Our college was kind enough to provide us with that fund, and then the motor was ranging from 70,000 to 80,000. So the total vehicle cost, it came up to 4.5 lakhs. So remaining everything was spent by the students, and they had to put in like 15,000 to 18,000 each per team per member. So totally 25 members, and we were able to build very good sturdy vehicles. That is the best part. Then this is the Kelly controller that we have been asked to use. The controller and its all its circuit, everything were provided by the organization, and we have to connect it according to this particular circuit. And this is the e-kit supplier. Anybody can, even you or me, we can go buy these e-kit supply from these companies. There are a lot of companies like Compage. There are many companies that are available in India. We can just go get a quotation and we can buy the best at the best rate from these companies. And you can convert any vehicle, any normal ICE vehicle, internal combustion engine vehicle, into an electric vehicle. There are a lot of YouTube videos actually available. And this is the team that we actually went, and this is the vehicle that we built in the first year in 2018. And then, so this is the vehicle in 2018. Pretty sturdy vehicle we built, and it's purely run by electric. The battery pack has to be positioned in a way that it has to be in an effective position according to the center of gravity. All these things, all these factors were taken into account, and we were able to do it, accomplish it. And in 2019, the second year we participated, we were able to build this vehicle. As you can see on the right side, this was the whole team. The problems that we faced in 2019 was we overcharged the battery. The final race was, let's say it was on the next next day. What we did that night, we overcharged the battery, and when we came back and started the vehicle for the final race the next day morning, the moment ignition was switched on, the BMS started fuming. So overcharging of electric vehicles is an important thing. We can overcharge our mobiles. You might have seen, you might have kept a mobile under charge for a long time all throughout the night. It would have reached 100%, but after 100%, it would have started becoming little warm and warmer, and it'll be very hot when you take it out in the morning. All right. So that kind of an issue can be managed in a mobile phone. But when it comes to these kind of high-end vehicles, this particular factor, when we overcharged the battery, it was already at 99% that night, and when we overcharged it, what happened was the BMS started heating up, and the next day when we switched on the vehicle and we were about to start it, it just moved a few meters, and then after that there was white smoke coming from the BMS, and we immediately turned it off, and we let it cool down for some time, and when we opened it, the BMS totally got melted, and that was a huge mistake and a bad experience that we had. And the next, in 2020, this was the vehicle that we built, Fire kind of model. We were able to again go to the finals with this vehicle as well. And the problem that we faced in this particular thing was the electric connection that we are giving. It was sometimes there was this reverse voltage that was coming up. So all these factors were taken care of, and later finally we were able to participate in the final race. At the point where 12 volt is supposed to be got, we were getting 48 volts suddenly. There was some reverse voltage or coupling of voltage that was happening, and we were not able to. If we are able to connect a bulb which has to run in 12 volt, and if we connect it, what happens, because of the 48 volt that is coming over there, the battery, the bulb got fused. So like that, we kept on. Then we found out that at a certain point there was this voltage coupling that was happening. So 12 into 4 times the voltage was coming at that point. So we had to check those connections, recheck those connections, started from scratch, and then we were able to succeed, and we were able to participate in the finals. So over these competitions, we have to develop these kind of, as you can see, this kind of PPTs where everything, whatever lessons that we learned and action taken, all those things has to be put out, and this has to be presented in these competitions. So basically every calculation, like what is the overall dimension, what is the wheel span, what is the battery pack's capacity, and everything. As you can see, the materials that we used was aluminum alloy. So that has been mentioned here, AISI 1018 and AISI 4130. That was the chassis material. And then the front impact, we had to do impact analysis of these materials using ANSYS, a very analysis software. We all know about it, ANSYS. And based on that, whatever is if the vehicle rolls, which means this is called as a roll gauge. Basically, this model that you're looking at is called as a roll cage. So this model is built in such a way that if the vehicle has to roll over, okay, if it has to roll over, the person inside, the driver, has to be very safe. So this is a very important condition in case of any kind of emergency. And if it rolls over and if the person gets hurt, there are at times in other colleges where during rollover, people inside the vehicle, they have gotten hurt, dislocated their elbow, and all those things have happened. So it's not a very simple thing. During this competition, all these accidents are meant to happen. So we have to design it in a way that even if the vehicle rolls over, the person inside has to be safe. So all these things were considered. And the suspension, this basically the suspension is an important factor which had to be taken into account. because of where all terrain is, since it's a rugged terrain. Imagine this competition happened in the foothills of a mountain actually. So imagine near a mountain how the terrain will be basically. It was in Pithampur, Madhya Pradesh. So this was condition. And the brakes were, so we divided the teams into 5 actually: brake suspension team, brake team, and steering team, powertrain team, and basically one important team which is the CA of all these ANSYS analysis and everything. So the brakes team will take care of all the brake section and everything, suspension, steering, how quick you can turn. So all those things were taken into account. And the drive was through rack and pinion, as you can see. So powertrain is where all the electrical components will come into picture. As I've already mentioned, the maximum power. Transmission was geared. And then belt drive. Using belt drive, we were able to transfer the motion from the electric motor to the gearbox. So basically, that's what we did. And then weight analysis. It should not be too light as well. If it is too light, it will fly off or it will roll over easily. So the weight has to be maintained in a particular range. So the cost of the vehicle that we basically did was 4,27,000. So it came to around 4,27,000. That was the cost of our vehicle. Every year we have been trying to reduce this as much as possible. In the first year we got it around 4.8 and then 4.5. And in the current year, 2020, when we participated, that was the last year. After that, because of COVID and other things, the competition didn't happen. All right, so we were able to reduce the weight, the cost by 25,000 at least every year. And these are the different project plans and different things that we had to show to them. And so these are the things that we had to undergo. As I share the experience with you, that's through that is what we learned. What are all the electric vehicle ups and downs and all those things. The battery pack that we had to buy, I told you it costed 1.5 lakhs. So that is an important drawback of electric vehicles nowadays. The lithium-ion batteries are being sold at such high cost. So the advantage is, as I can say, it is very cheaper to operate. There is not much of any moving parts inside, not like an engine which is having piston cylinder or gears inside a gearbox or differential gears or any kind of other moving parts. So since there are not much of moving parts, the operational cost and maintenance is very, very, very cheap in battery operated electric vehicles, right? And it's very environment friendly as well, as there is it's running through electricity. The emission is 0 when the vehicle is running. So this and it is very environment friendly, and health benefits are there obviously. So air quality is not disturbed at all because of this vehicle's emission. Air quality is maintained at the same rate. There are a lot of countries which have implemented electric vehicles fully, like Netherlands and all those countries. They are fully running under a renewable energy like wind energy or solar energy. So they have started implementing electric vehicles fully all throughout the country. They have started implementing it, and it basically produces less noise or no noise at all. If an electric vehicle is running, you might have seen a lot of two-wheelers running on the roads nowadays. I personally see a lot of electric two-wheelers running in our roads in Chennai and all. It doesn't make any noise. Only the engaging of gear when they raise the throttle of the vehicle when it is moving, that is the only time where you can hear a noise, or else there is not much noise at all. And as I said, there's less moving parts, and hence there's not much of servicing needed. Only basically if the battery pack goes off or something, that is the only thing that has to be taken care of. And the major disadvantage currently is the cost of the vehicle is very high compared to a conventional vehicle. Maybe it is just entering the market, or it has just come in for 4 or 5 years. Maybe the costs are so high. Maybe in the next 10 to 15 years down the line, if you see, the vehicle's cost might come down. And one of the reasons for the cost being so high is, you can see the third point, the lithium-ion battery which is being imported in our country is already very costly, and more than that, the GST that the government is putting on these lithium-ion battery is 28%. So it's almost 30%. You have to put it in the form of tax to the government. So if the government is ready to reduce these kind of GSTs, maybe put a GST of 12% or something lesser, then these batteries will be sold at a cheaper price. And lack of renewable energy, there's not much of, as we try when we were discussing, majority of the electricity is being generated through steam power plant, that is coal powered. So if renewable energy is concentrated more in our country, and down the line, maybe in the next 20 or 30 years, definitely renewable energy will have a major portion of our country. And as there are a lot of schemes which are being developed, and a lot of private sector units are coming into this particular field, like Adani Group and Reliance, they are into a lot of, even Tata, they are into a lot of renewable energy sources. They have built a lot of power plants, wind energy power plants, and solar powered power plants, like that. So if these major players, if they are trying to get a lot of energy from these renewable sources, then the vehicles cost might come down as well. And charging infrastructure is not available anywhere currently. Either you have to charge it at home or in your office if the plug point is available in the office. So charging infrastructure also have to be developed for every, as it is mentioned through this FAME scheme, for every 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer radius, if at least one charging station is available, then it is possible. If you try to Google it and find out where's the nearest charging station, there are a lot of charging stations which we don't even know of. If when I wanted to just find out where is the nearest charging station for me, I was able to get a charging station which was like 3 kilometers somewhere near from my place. There are charging stations available, so you can just go pay and charge your vehicle in case if you need your vehicles to be charged. So these are certain things that just wanted to share with you. And one thing I just left off was the fuel cell technology. I hope you know about how the fuel cell works. So it basically works under electrochemical energy conversion. This device was invented in 1839 by William Groove. So imagine how old is this technology. Basically what it does is, hydrogen is the fuel. So hydrogen, when mixed with oxygen, what happens is the output that you get is water. But I have to tell you, this fuel cell, it gives you zero emission, is fine, but it is not as efficient as a lithium ion battery, a normal battery. That is one big drawback of fuel cell technology, but it gives you 0% emission. That is the beauty of fuel cell technology. So I've come to the end of this session. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can pose your questions. And I thank again Dr. S. Ramaprabha Madam, Dr. Deepa Madam, and Nirmal Jones sir for giving me this opportunity. Now the forum is open for you to put forth your questions regarding this. If there's any questions, you can let me know. Sir, Jones sir.
Sir, can we end up this session, sir?
Yeah, sir. We can end it, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
If there's any questions from participants, I can answer them, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Participants, any questions regarding off-road vehicles? As there are a lot of professors who have joined, you might have heard about SAE Baha. You can make your students to participate it as well in that way. Already you might have had experience. Some of you would have had experience about the college might have been participating. If not, it's a very good platform. It's not about winning in those competitions. It's all about the experience the team gets through this competition. even though it is a very costly competition, but competing in a national level is a pride. If from the south of our Tamil Nadu, only like of 10 or 15 colleges, they are only 15 colleges make up to the finals. So imagine how the competition all over India, around 600 colleges, they participate in the first round, and in the final round only like hardly 40 or 50 colleges, they make it up to the finals. So if your college is able to make it up for that finals, a huge pride for your college and for the students to get that experience. As we used to always say, the experience during that competition, it will be electrifying there. All the students running here and there, trying to get their team to victory and everything. It will be such a great atmosphere. At least once, I request your colleges to also get a glimpse of this atmosphere. It is actually SAE competition. BAHA is an international level competition, which is being done by International SAE, ISAE we call it. But currently in India, the top 3 teams, they actually go and compete in the international level. Continuously, colleges like NIT, I think NIT Indore, IIT, there are NITs. I forgot this name. Since it's been 2 years. Constantly, certain colleges they come first or second or third, and they participate purely in the international competitions, and they get to very good levels. So request the professors around who are participating in this forum to push your students also to participate in these kind of competitions where they can get very good exposure. So, and I thank you all for this opportunity, and thanks for your cooperation as well.
Yes, Mr. David, this is Dr. Mahesh from Bangalore. Would you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so actually, from our institution, SRMVIT Bangalore, we have done, we constantly participate in this different level of competition of related with respect to e-cart.
Okay, nice.
So we have our own almost around 5 of our institution have their models, which we also participate in various. I think so. You heard about the Shell e-cart competition, which regularly be held. So
Yeah.
we do participate in that, and we also participate in NEKC, that is the National e-cart Championship. Last time we had been in Bhopal.
Nice.
So we do also participate, but off-road vehicle is not within our chart, because as you rightly mentioned, the expensiveness of making one such off-road vehicle. Could you just because doing a normal electric car itself, we have a lot of financial constraints which we have to look for sponsors, and people don't believe in our product, what we try to do certain times, because we are all new to the system.
Yeah.
Right. So would you just minding to say that just if you can just give a highlight about the cost of your own vehicle, like what are the personal things which you come across in building one and going ahead? So that how do we try to motivate students? Because I think so for the matter of things, when we buy, we have our 48-volt lithium-ion battery, which itself costs more than 75K.
Yeah.
And once having one such battery and investment, and I think so and as a part of students, it's a huge investment for them when we try to do.
Yes.
And also, yes, institution also do provide us with benefits, but it's not to that extent we can totally.
That's true. That's the same issue that we faced as well, sir.
So I just wanted to know, roughly, how do you try to invest? What do we motivate? Because end of the day, it is competition. The students do ask us, sir, it is end of the day, we'll end up in competition. And of course, students' mentality is to always to win. They can't digest losing as a part of it. So I just wanted to know, how do you try to, because you have already done and competed in such a massive level of such competition. Could you just give us some inputs of building it? How do you try to fund the resources in? And I think so probably, I don't know if I had missed what was the cost of your vehicle which you have done, so that we have an idea. But we want to try to take it to the next level, but unfortunately due to the finance and funding, we always land up in again remodifying the same e-cart to the different levels of competition.
Yeah.
So if you can just highlight, because you have worked on it, so I'll be more glad to hear from you.
Sure, sir. So thank you for this wonderful question. Actually, the finance related to these vehicles are so high that even though students will be ready to, have their ideas put and all those things, but when it comes to money, the students cannot invest so much. So what we basically do is we ask our college management to give us a partial funding for this. So what they basically do is they will ask our students to present it, and if it's worth it, what they will do, they will either take care of the battery. The major portion of the thing will be funded by the college management, and the remaining will be totally taken care of by the student. That's what we when we select the students itself, we'll first tell them this is a scenario the college might give or may not give. We can't depend on them. If they give, the total cost will come down by a lakh or so, or else we have to invest it ourselves. So per head, like if there are 25 members in the team, I think for e-cart it will be 15 members, I guess, and for these all-terrain vehicles it will be 25. So there is a higher participation rate, like 10 people extra. So 18K per head is what we fix, sir. So per head, per student, they have to invest, and it will not be as a whole 18K. As the team develops, so 3,000, or in the next phase 2, we'll ask them to give like 4,000, like that. And we have actually tried to approach the companies basically for these fundings, and since it's purely done by students and not much of expertise involved in this, the companies they just say a blind no. Actually, they say that see, it's not we can't invest so much into your project. And what is every company, they look for what do we get from this, and they will try to strike a deal with the college management and all. They'll go to that extent. And for this and all, no, students can't go to the college management and say that they want to do certain get a tie-up with the company and those things. So it doesn't work, sir, with the companies basically. So we actually tell our students, this is the scenario, and if you are okay with it, you can very well come and join the team. And 3 years it has worked. This is the strategy that we follow, and they have suffered a lot, basically, the students, to invest so much. And still, since we haven't won any of these competitions, so the experience is what we actually tell them. We will get hell lot of experience from this particular competition, and so students get motivated and they join, and we go to the finals every time. Since we have very good experience, we go to the finals every time, but we don't win it. With the 3 years we didn't win it, but we were able to get some good exposure and good experience out of it. And this is how we actually do it, sir.
So do you have any company who are tie up with you because you already have gone ahead in such a competition, so that they try to give more?
No, sir. Companies we haven't approached. We approached a few companies, and they said we have to talk to the management and other things, since it was not possible beyond our power. So we were not able to get any funds from them, actually, sir. And the funds they were ready to give us only like 25. The things that they were asking from us was beyond 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, in that range.
Yeah.
So it didn't work. Yeah.
Because you have worked with the next level of the competition and they have done the model. I thought at least you, because the same thing we are also facing the same, because whenever we try to approach any of these companies, they have their own standards and sets which we can't match to them, because basically these are students who are academically doing, and in their own interest they come to do these things.
Yes.
So we can't dedicate them to do only this and leave out the academics. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the the bridging becomes more difficult for all of mentors, for us to match them and bring them to that level.
And we can motivate them only to a certain extent. Beyond that, it is not possible for us. We can't invest or anything our money into these projects.
Correct. That's right, David.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, David, for your patience answer.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any other questions, participants? As sir mentioned, e-cart is another different sector. What I'm talking about is all-terrain vehicle, and we have also been into e-cart competitions as well. go-kart and e-kart competitions. So that is another platform where you can explore, make your students explore in that. And I think we can end it. Sir?
Thank you, sir. Amos,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So, dear participants, I have posted my feedback form for this session on the chat box. Fill it before leaving. Tomorrow we have our STP on electric vehicle by 10 a.m. Hope you all join there. Thank you. I would like to thank our participants for your active communication. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, sir, everyone. Thank you.